Or I can't see Robin. Perhaps she's joining. She's not.
Do you want to ring her, Robin? Do you want to ring her?
Oh, hi, Sumit.
Hi, Robin. Hi.
Hi, Sumit.
Hi, Nilanjana.
Good to see you. And thank you for joining.
Pleasure, Robin.
Hi, good evening, Nidhi.
Hi, Robin. Hi.
Good evening.
Hi, Kyla. Good to see you.
Hello, how's everyone?
Great, great.
Hello.
What you? Will you just take out the pictures, huh? Nidhi, Robin is just joining in 1 minute. Shall we start or should we allow everyone to enter into the meeting? So, Nilanjana, I'm admitting all and then we'll
Yes.
start. I think Robin has already joined, but I'm not able to see her.
Corazón para recibir a su Hijo. Recibamos la enseñanza de Juan el Bautista, que es grande porque puede señalar con su vida a Jesús. La meditación sobre la figura del Bautista se convierte en una provocación para que sepamos conocer la gracia que se nos ofrece para formar parte del reino y acoger el don.
Dr. Lanjana, we can start.
We can get started. Yeah, team. Thanks.
On behalf of HCLTech and HCL Foundation, a very warm welcome to everyone present today. It is my great honor to welcome you all to the information and experience sharing session for the third edition of the HCLTech America's Grant for Climate Action. We hope that this session proves meaningful and it helps you clarify any questions and doubts that you may have about the application process. Could I please request everyone to put yourself on mute? During the session, if you have any questions regarding the application process, please put them down in the chat. You may also write to us with your queries at americasgrant@hcltech.com. I will now hand over to Mr. Robin Thomas, who will take you through the day session, the agenda for today. Thank you, Robin.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Lanjana, for the warm welcome. A very good morning, good afternoon to everyone joining us from all over the world today for this wonderful info session and experience sharing in the HCL Tech America's Grant for Climate Action, Edition 3. It's truly a privilege to have such an esteemed group of social purpose organizations, speakers with us as we come together for this important conversation on climate action. At HCL Tech, sustainability and social impact are at the heart of our mission, and the America's Grant on Climate Action, Edition 3, is a testament to our commitment to driving meaningful change globally. Today's session is not just about sharing updates, it's also about learning from experiences, exploring innovative solutions, and strengthening our collective resolve to address one of the most pressing challenges of our time. So we have an exciting lineup of speakers who will share their insights, experiences, perspectives on how we can make a real difference. So without further ado, let's begin this journey together. Uh, for beginning our session today, I'd like to invite Dr. Nidhi Pundri. She's our Senior Vice President Global CSR at HCL Tech and Director at HCL Foundation. Dr. Pundri is an international humanitarian services and socio-economic environmental development specialist. In the capacity of Senior Vice President Global CSR, she leads the Global CSR agenda for HCL Tech and heads the HCL Foundation, which is the CSR arm of HCL Tech in India. May I request everyone to please go on mute?
All right, sounds good. We'll talk later.
Okay, thank you. With more than 25 years of experience in actualizing human rights at international and national level, some of the key portfolios she has held here with SOS Children Villages as Director Program Development Asia and Plan International's international headquarters as Global Advisor on Child Protection and Development. Nidhi holds a doctorate degree in Public Health Management from IHMR University, Jaipur, and MPhil in Health Systems Management from BITS Pilani, India. So may I invite Dr. Nidhi Pundri to give us the opening address and context setting about the HCL Tech America's Grant on Climate Action Edition 3.
Thank you, Robin, and good morning there, good afternoon, good evening, everyone joining this amazing call today. It's so, I would say, exciting to see so many people joining us from most of America's region as well as other parts of the world. It's truly, truly amazing that we are already in the middle of edition 3 of America's Grant. It sounds yesterday that we launched this edition. It's been absolutely exciting journey for us as a team here at HCL Tech Grant PMO office. I would start with giving you a little background on how this entire process started. This was very much back in 2015-16 in India when we launched one of the biggest, most robust, and one of the most, I would say, the bold corporate social responsibility grant from HCL Tech, which is an IT company. It is present in more than 60 countries, as you know, and it has a huge presence in America's region as well. When we started, little did we know that this grant would become one of the most go-to grant for the not-for-profit organizations in India. It would touch more than 20 states. It would have presence in so many villages that now it becomes at times very difficult for us to go to all of them. We launched it initially in the categories of, I would say, just education, and then we introduced the category of health, we introduced environment, and the kind of reception that we saw across the social purpose organizations across the country only encouraged us to keep increasing our resources on the grant. When we were counting the impact of the grant over a decade in India, we realized that this should not be limited just to India. HCL Tech is a global company. It has a massive IT presence. We should go to other regions, and we chose Americas to be the first region where we started our structured process on CSR grant. Though even before that, we had been working through our immediate corporate social responsibility agenda in the region. We had been associated with not for profit organizations, but then we realized that it's time for us to go for a systematic approach towards our CSR. And with that, this was started 3 years ago, and this is exactly the third edition. This is an information organizations for the NPOs who have either applied or who are considering applying for this grant. I would like to also show you the footprints in India, and this is an initiative under our CSR. As I said, in India, the entire CSR initiative of HCL grant is driven by HCL Foundation, while in the Americas region, it is being done directly by the company. In India, which is surely a huge subcontinent, also represents almost 1/7 of the world's population. The footprint is deep as well as has massive scale. We reach out to more than 7.9 million people through our various CSR initiatives. And there are other programs than HCL Tech Grant. Today's focus is more on grant, so I'll limit my brief to that. Going ahead, I would also like to celebrate the moment with the friends who have joined from America's Moment that very recently we celebrated a decade of impact that we have made in India. And it is an inspiration, a journey of inspiration from India that we have taken overseas. And now we hope very soon we'll be celebrating 5 years and then a decade in America's region as well. We're here to stay, and this is going to be a consistent program that is only going to scale up globally. Going ahead, I would also like to take you through an impact journey through a beautiful video, which would give you some insights into the hinterlands of India, where the India grant has made an impact. And then I'll come to the details of America's grant, followed by some very interesting sessions that we have lined up for you today. Could we have the video, please?
Every morning, an India wakes up. India that makes the headlines. But there is also a developing India that rarely reaches the headlines. Where every morning, a health worker begins her day visiting pregnant women. With her mother care kit in hand, she ensures every heartbeat is safe. In return, a cup of tea, a shared laugh, and conversations. This is the India we are building. where in rural Karnataka, people who were once confined to their beds are now back on their feet, living and dreaming again. Step by step, we are building. Where in a school in Kashmir, a new curriculum is taking root. Teachers become friends, and classrooms turn into safe spaces where students speak with confidence and smile without fear. One classroom at a time, we are building. Where fishermen in Kerala return from the sea not just with their catch, but with nets full of plastic waste. Plastic that women groups transform into bags and art, breathing life into the ocean that is their lifeline. This is the India we are building. Over the last 10 years, with the strength of our grassroots NGO partners, we have been building this nation from within, nurturing its roots, strengthening its identity. HCLTech Grant, building a nation from its deepest roots.
Right. We thought we'll just show you. We very much we are aware that this is super Indian. To belongs to the hinterlands of India, but then I hope it just gauges the impact that the grant has made. And this was just a capture, although there are more than 50 partners. There are projects which have gone much deeper and scaled themselves to state level and now country level across three categories. We got a massive response for America's Grant Edition 2 as well. And as you can see, there was a great jump from in the number of applications, almost that of registrations went up by 34% and registration and the applications went up by 72%, and which is pretty much a representation of most of the organizations which work towards climate action. In the Americas region, we have kept the focus more on climate action, unlike in India, where we also have categories on education, health, and we've recently introduced a separate category of water. In Americas, realizing the urgency and realizing the fact that we don't have enough grants from corporates. There is a lot of work happening, of course, let's acknowledge that, but we surely wanted more and more participation from the not for profit space. But more than that, the idea was to inculcate partnerships between corporates and not for profit space and work jointly on the issue of climate action. And with that in mind, we introduced the grant. It was on September 19, 2023. We announced the grant with a commitment of 5 million over 5 years. And we had to give it a structure, surely, and we thought it would be good to have a project worth 500,000 as winner and runner-ups, two runner-ups of projects of 250,000 each. And this would be the winner project could run for 2 years duration, while we are quite aware that these could be built up from the previous action that they are already taking, or these could be fresh projects, and the runner-up could be a support of 250,000 over 1 year duration. We are well aware, and we haven't really over defined climate action. We've left a lot of flexibility within the application framework where not for profit organizations could possibly look at their own methods of mitigation, adaptation, and they could apply. Definitely, the SDGs that we are targeting are goal number 6 under this, where we look at availability of and management of water systems. We look at goal number 7, we look at goal number 11, goal 13, goal 14, goal 17, 15. But I really don't want to say that um, I think climate action is one such arena which is surely going to affect health. The entire paradigm of One Health does get covered one way or the other. I also want to make it very clear that we keep our India CSR programs quite distinct, which is under the larger GAM. I would say, as directed by our CSR policy, there is a very distinct budget which has been assigned by our CEO, Mr. C. Vijay Kumar, and he's the executive sponsor. So the funding behind the America's Grant Program is quite distinct from the funding that we have in India. Therefore, and in terms of reporting of the grant, the reporting structure as well, there is a distinct jury which has been recruited for the purposes of America's grant, which is quite distinct from the grant that we run in India. We are proud that the jury is chaired by Ms. Robin Abrams, who's also the chair of the India Grand Jury. But more than that, she has served the HCLTech board for the longest duration. We also have Mr. Raj Ramachandran, who is CVP at HCLTech, works very closely with the CEO. We have Mr. Ram Sundarajan, who is the Chief People's Officer, so brings in the HR know-how there. We also have a CEO and President of Bank of Santander, US, Miss Christina Riley, who's part of the jury. We have Mr. Olaf, who is looking at ethics and compliance at HCLTech, who's very much part of the jury. And then we have our global head of ESG, Mr. Vipul Arora, as a part of the jury. The jury remains quite engaged in the process right from the beginning, and the deliberations also happen at a very deep level. In addition to, I just want to remind all of us that we had shortlisted applications till this level. You can see the representation from all over the region, and then there was a jury call which was announced last year. Going ahead. Of course, we keep the consolidation meetings through various subject level experts. So the applications go through a reading minimum at 3 levels, which would involve experts from various parts of the world. We also have CAF America, which works with us as the governance partner in the process. We have people who are external to HCLTech ecosystem. They also advise, and all kinds of conflicts of interest is avoided at all levels, such that there is an independent democratic process through which the winners are chosen. Going ahead. Of course, this is from edition 2, as you can see. Then from the list of semi-finalists, the finalists emerge. I would once again congratulate the winners so far that we've had in edition 1 and edition 2. In edition 1, we had Argelando, we had from Canada, and we had another organization from Brazil. In addition to, we had Friends of OZA, Daily Acts, and Ocean Wise. I think these are also quite representative of the region, as you can see, and these are also quite representative of the kind of solutions which are needed on climate action, which need not only visibility but also scale. And all our partner organizations make us proud by the kind of impact that they're making at the community level, most importantly, from the point of having responsible citizens' action around the solutions that they have devised. Going ahead. I think that was the last slide, but I really want to also, in this information share session, we run this desk quite regularly throughout the process when the application call is open or our friends from the social purpose organizations, they're writing the application, they can reach out to us, they can clarify any doubts. It is also a process when we ensure that no idea goes waste. If you have an idea, if you have a grit to stand behind your idea, this is the time to write it up, and we ensure that that would be considered favorably. And there is a very transparent, I would once again reiterate, a democratic process through which we identify the recipients of the grant. But most importantly, the process itself is extremely fulfilling and engaging, and the application that you make at no stage will go waste. With that, let me once again wish you the very best with edition 3, and we look forward to engaging with all of you. Thank you so much, and I'll leave you back with the wonderful team here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Nidhi Pundi, for setting this context and setting our meeting agenda so beautifully. And, and let me tell you, Dr. Nidhi has been mentoring, and has been our guiding force in this decade of our HCL Tech India grant and our third edition of HCL Tech America's grant. So on behalf of the entire participants, HCL Tech, HCL Foundation, thank you so much, Nidhi, for taking us through the entire process so beautifully. Now, moving on, we are honored, and I'm so privileged to invite our esteemed chairperson of our jury, India Grant and America's Grant, Miss Robin Abrahams. Miss Robin Abrahams is our HCL Tech's longest serving board member and a distinguished technology leader. Robin has held senior roles at Apple, Palm Computing, Verifone, and Zilog, and serves on global boards like FactSet and Lattice Semiconductor. She has chaired the jury for the HCL Tech India grant for over a decade, continuing now its 11th edition, and also leads the HCL Tech Americas grant as chair for the third consecutive year. Her strategic vision and commitment to innovation make her an invaluable part of her journey, especially to our HCL Tech as a company and also HCL Tech Grant India and Americas. We welcome you, Ms. Robin Abrahams, and may I request you to give us your special address and share your experience as a jury member in the HCL Tech Grant.
Robin, thank you very much. It's a delight to be with all of you today. And 10 years has gone by so very quickly from the origination of the very first grant and granting process. I wanted to share in really one primary area, and then Robin and I are going to have a dialogue a bit in a minute. I currently conduct field visits to between 7 and 8 grantees a year. All right, organizations that have successfully applied and have their projects underway. And what I thought might be helpful to you is a few observations in terms of what I see when I make those field visits. And there are 3 primary things that I see when I make those field visits. Number one is these projects, from the very beginning of their projects, they're thinking about scaling. What can I do to scale? What can I do to scale? And it manifests itself in a number of different ways. So if, for example, our intended audience has cell phones, how do we leverage the assets that are already in the hands of the intended people that will participate in the program? How can we speed up? How can we develop more capacity by doing that? If our intended audience already, for example, has uniforms or could take more aspiration and inspiration from similar uniforms or brand new uniforms, or they all look alike, as an example? How do we think from the very beginning about scaling? Not afterwards, not a year into the project, but from the very beginning. That project management team is asking, what assets do we have? How do we scale? How do we scale? The second thing is leveraging like minds. I have seen one project after another that simply identifies 5 or 6 organizations that have like minds about that given project. And then what they do, and it's not any more than that, what they do is periodically keep those like minds updated. And it's amazing the resources that come from those like minds, right? And again, you're not out fundraising. That's not the point, right? But it could be a government outfit. It could be a local school. It could be 2 corporations. It could be a museum. But again, don't do it to any more than 4, 5, or 6. And maybe it's, for example, a quarterly update. But the rewards are quite unique. And important to the success of your individual programs. And so the last thing, and I must say this, is perseverance. Early in November, I had the great good fortune to visit a grantee, and I asked them how many times had they applied for this particular one, and I think it was 3 years in a row they had applied. Right. And so it takes perseverance, right? And you can see the number of applications that both in India and the Americas we receive, but there was perseverance. This outfit believed in its project. They believed in the viability. They knew they needed additional resources, and they simply dusted off, upgraded their applications, twice, and were successful. So I just want you to think about that as you're defining your projects. And then I have some advice here in a minute when Robin asked me the question. But think about scaling from the very beginning. Identify a handful of like minds that you can leverage from the beginning, and no surprise, perseverance is required on all of our parts. Robin, I will turn it back to you, and later I will talk about do's and don'ts.
No, thank you so much, Robin. First of all, let me tell you, I love your Christmas tree behind you. So, first of all,
That's
Merry
why I sat
Christmas.
in this room today.
Yeah. So second thing, I kept 2 questions for you. I think you have already answered. But one thing which, if you would like to advise all our social purpose organizations who are here, so we have the winners, the runner-ups joining us today. Aguilando is going to speak about their journey on applying the HCLTech grant. As a jury member, and when you are sitting with other jurors, what all are those 3 to 5 parameters which you look into the proposals specifically when these NGOs apply, and which are like winning factors for a NGO?
So I thought a lot about this, right? And so I have 3 do's, and then I also have a don't, right? And a couple years ago I wouldn't have added the don't. So one is clarity on impact. Be very, very, very clear on impact. If you say only we're going to address 20,000 people, it's not enough. What will it do for those 20,000 people, as an example? So clarity on impact is one. The second is, how will your project use technology? And that is important for 2 reasons. Of course, we're a technology company, but that isn't really the reason I point this out. I have seen projects be able to speed up their results by developing applications that are in the hands of the intended beneficiaries, and be able to accelerate to track more data, right? For example, in the growing of seeds as an example, but also to accelerate their results. So how can you use technology? Tell us how you're going to use that. Could be data collection, but think about what technology is already in the hands of your users and capitalize on that. I think that we should, in many cases, NGOs have a unique opportunity at the moment in terms of how to better use technology to deliver our benefits. And then constantly, the third piece is share with us how you will scale your project. And you may end up doing that yourselves as an NGO, but you may also be willing to share some of your capabilities and what you've developed with other organizations in other America's countries. So don't put on blinders and think you're only dealing in Costa Rica or you're only dealing in Canada or you're only dealing in Brazil, because that has appeal, I think, to the jury. The last is a don't, right? The don't is don't over rely on AI. I will tell you the number of things that I'm seeing today, from job applications to project, when someone goes in and thinks they're so very clever. And I do the same thing, right? I mean, I use Chat GPT, 3 or 4 times a day. But if we see the same words on your project in terms of benefits that we do on 6 other applications, you're not differentiating yourself in terms of what you can deliver or how you will use the resources that HCL Foundation can provide. So clarity on impact, how you're going to use technology in the project, scale, how you're developing capacity, and then do not over rely on AI. So those would be my words of advice, Robin.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robin. We really loved it. Clarity on impact, using of technology, sharing with us how you will scale, and do not over rely on AI. I think these are the great do's and don'ts for the NGOs now. Thank you so much, Robin, for joining us and giving your insights. Like you are traveling to India for its HCL Tech India grant winners. I hope you'll be soon traveling to our America's grant winners as well, seeing their amazing
Excellent.
project and giving.
Good
Yeah,
luck to good
thank
luck
you,
to all the applicants. Thank you. I hope to
thank
see
you,
I hope to see many of your applications on our desk. Thank you.
thank you so much, Robert. It was wonderful to have you here. So, my next set of speaker is Dr. Shantanu Basu. Dr. Shantanu Basu is the project director for Harit HCL Foundation's flagship climate initiative in India, leading efforts in climate change mitigation, adaptation, and resilience programs across India. He has over 18 years of experience in environmental sustainability, CSR project management, and stakeholder engagement. And he holds a PhD in wildlife science from the Wildlife Institute of India. So, Dr. Basu, a hearty welcome and thank you for giving us your time. On the, no, due to paucity of time, I'll just ask one question. I think that will sum up the entire discussion which we are expecting from you. Dr. Basu, you recently visited Costa Rica and visited Oza Conservation, who's the winner of our edition two. As part of our climate action initiatives, basically, could you share some highlights from that experience of your visit? What stood out to you in terms of community engagement, biodiversity, and innovative practices that they proposed and which they are implementing on ground? We would love to hear your insights.
Thank you, Robin, and good morning to all of you. It was nice meeting you all here. And Robin, it's great to you brought this discussion up. And I recently visited Osaka Conservation couple of weeks back, and I'll definitely say kind of echo what Robin just said. Things and looking at impact and scale but on ground, it's what we were looking at. When we looked at the proposal, we definitely looked at different elements in micros and tried to understand uh, what are the factors that is possible within the 2 years time frame of the project, and they will be able to bring those changes things. And when we saw those efforts of mangrove conservation, coastal conservation efforts like turtle conservation, and it's saving its egg and nest from predation. Efforts there, putting long-term studies on species level monitoring on their movement, that's there, uh, uh, kind of propagating and conserving and putting efforts to conserve rare and endangered species on ground. So there are various aspects to that. And what was a great probably to see out there is how it's not that from the day one they are started implementing the project. They have kind of a tried and tested those models on ground for very long years, 6 7 years, and now they're kind of implementing those models and bringing those scale up there. And that's also creating the success story, so they know that failure, so they, it's not that they have not shown those failures. They are openly shows that what didn't work for them, and they have learned, and they have kind of a change the model or improvise those model on different aspects, and that kind of made a difference. And now they are doing many aspects of conservations in that tropical rainforest area very fast. And along with that, they are collaborating with lot of organizations. They're doing scientific research. They are bringing lot of ground researchers to come and work with them and collect scientific data and kind of a report to the global community. I think that's a wonderful thing that we have seen presently, kind of a witnessed on that project, Robin.
Thank you so much, Dr. Basu, for sharing your insights. I am sure uh, these points which you have shared, are social purpose organizations who are attending today, a lot of their queries will be answered, and they'll be putting these aspects in the proposal as well. Thank you so much for your time. Uh, may I now invite?
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. May I now invite uh, our winner of the edition one, Aguilando NGO. So Aguilando team is here today. So Pedro, who is the CEO of founder and CEO of Aguilando, and Miss Regine. She's the project director with Aguilando. She'll be supporting Pedro in translating the Portuguese into English. I had the fortunate to visit this wonderful organization in the month of June and visited this organization and seen the project. So Pedro Ronan is the founder and CEO of Aguilando, a Brazil-based non-for-profit organization established in 2004 that promotes volunteering and supports the management of social projects across 19 states and the federal district. He is a lawyer by training with an MBA in social responsibility and the third sector. He is also a consultant, speaker, and professor in corporate volunteering. Under his leadership, Aguinaldo has developed community-focused social technologies and has implemented more than 40 initiatives aimed at fostering human, cultural, and environmental development. A warm welcome to Pedro and Regine. May I request Lanjana to please spotlight Regine as well. Thank you so much, Pedro. Pedro, I'll quickly ask two questions, and I'll ask it together so that you can answer it together. Actually, uh, you know your experience. How has been, Rajini? You're there to translate it to Pedro.
Yes, I'm here. Hello, everyone.
Wonderful, wonderful to see you, and thank you for joining us. Uh, so, Rajini, my question to Pedro is. How was your experience applying for the HCL Tech Americas grant, and how it is different from other grants which you have been applying so far from 2004? And were there some unique elements in the process or support that stood out to you and you were announced as a winner? And my second question, follow-up question is, what advice would you offer to all the non-for-profit social purpose organizations applying this year in edition 3 to help them prepare a winning proposal on the perspective from a social purpose organization? So these are my two questions.
Então, vou me permitir dar um oi para todos e falar na minha língua nativa, que é o português, para trazer toda essa diversidade cultural que a HCL nos proporciona. O que nos inspirou foi essa oportunidade de levar e alcançar a experiência do Brasil, né? Levar o nosso trabalho para todo o país e se conectar com essa luta com as mudanças climáticas, em que a gente queria envolver os jovens, pessoas voluntárias, escolas, organizações, para construir essa jornada com a gente. É um grande aspecto muito específico do grant que ressoou no nosso coração foi esse desafio dessa missão de levar uma iniciativa que nos forçou a ser escalável, replicável e sustentável. Então, a própria inscrição no grant, ela trouxe para a gente muitos aprendizados e nos desafiou a criar essa estrutura e se conectar com oportunidades globais. E aí, Rejane, traduza para aqueles que não são nossos conterrâneos de diálogo.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. Namaste. My name is Rejane. I work with Pedro, and I will translate him. Okay. So, what inspires was the opportunity to expand our Gelando's impact across Brazil and actively contribute to the fight against the effects of climate change together with our entire community. And we want to engage young people, volunteers, schools, and partners, organizations to build this journey with us. And a specific aspect of the grant that deeply resonate with us, with our mission, was the challenge of creating a legacy and an initiative that it is scalable, replicable, and sustainable in long term. And the grant application itself brought us many insights as it pushed us to structure not only the management of Attitude Jovem project, but also to strengthen our organization internal process and expand our connection to global opportunities. In and answering the answer two is the intensity of the selection process also stood us out. This stage prepares us early for the implementation of Atitude Jovem and the ongoing support from HCL Tech and HCL Tech Foundation and HCL Tech Brazil during this first year was a crucial differentiating factor that gave us confidence and helped us to surpass goals initially set for this phase. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajane. And it's so warm to see Pedro and you on one screen. And Pedro, let me tell you, and it's an opinion from all our HCL Tech and HCL Foundation team members who have already seen you and saw you and heard you. Your actions expresses your work. The way you say, the way you express your thoughts, we can actually get your passion and the work you are doing, and really it is coming from our heart. A big thank you, Pedro, Regine, for joining us, and we would love you to be here. There are a lot of queries which our NGO are asking now, may I introduce our CAF team, Charities Aid Foundation. Charities Aid Foundation is a US-based 510c public charity founded in 1992, and they are an international and domestic grant-making organization handling compliance, due diligence, and administrative processes. Uh, while annually facilitating over 1.4 billion in grants to organizations across 135 countries globally. Please, may I have the privilege of welcoming Nick Albert. He's the Assistant Director of Corporate Client Services from CAF America. Kyla Harrington, she's the Officer in Private Donor Services at CAF America, and uh, and along with Mr. Nick and Miss Kyla, our CAF America colleagues have also joined, and they are here to actually take you through the application process and address all your queries. Some of our queries have been already getting answered on the chat. Let's continue those queries to be addressed through chat, but may I welcome CAF to take us through the application process. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin, for the very warm welcome. As mentioned, my name is Kayla Harrington, and I'm joined by my colleague, Nick Ebert. So CAF America has been very happy to partner with HCLTech on this climate action grant. This will be our second time working with them, but we have been their partner in both the due diligence and grant making process throughout. So throughout the application process, the interview process, etc., you will see our names come up, and we are always very happy to assist with any inquiries that come through. So I think we're running a little short on time, so I'm going to hand it over to Nick in a second to go through some common pitfalls that we've seen in the application process. Nick will be recording a how-to on how to fill out the application that will be available in both English and Spanish, and should be uploaded to the website hopefully in the next few days or so. But with that, I'll hand it over to Nick.
Thanks, Kayla. Appreciate it. Yes, I will be recording those, that step-by-step on the application, just to give you a sense of what it will be like for you filling out the application if you haven't gone in there already. I did want to address, we've been trying to address your questions in the chat. Thank you so much for all the questions. I wanted to cover a couple commonly asked questions. And so I'm just going to run through a list of things that we have noticed last year, as well as questions that we received this year. First of all, this call is open to any organization that performs social purpose work. Public universities and even private businesses with a charitable mission or purpose would be eligible. Organizations must be registered or have a partner organization registered in the country where the activities will take place. For example, if you're an organization based in the US, registered in the US, but you want to do an activity in Argentina, you need to have some kind of legal registration within Argentina to be able to do that work, or have a partner organization that is registered there. If you applied last year, note that we have combined the two stages. Last year, we had a concept note phase and a full application phase. We have combined those into one application. So you'll be filling out all of that information at the beginning rather than in two phases. Your project must be aligned with the purpose of the program, which is climate action. Projects that are not aligned with this will likely not be moved to the next round. However, as I've been mentioning in the chat, we have a broad definition of what climate action is. Our definition would be if it helps the world address current or long-term climate issues in tangible, for example, emissions reductions, or creative, like advocacy or volunteering ways, we can help, we can accept them and review those. We understand that the application is long, detailed, and might appear tedious. The best applications that are likely to receive funding are the ones that plan out their answers and their documents ahead of time and submit them all at once, and that respond to all of the questions on the application. Please note that in addition to organizational documents like audited financial statements from the past 3 years, proof of incorporation, profiles of board members, an organogram, organizational budget details, it will also be necessary to add at least one photo representing the program, a program budget, a theory of change, and project milestones and KPIs, key performance indicators. These last three that I mentioned have templates within the application itself, which if you watch the recording, you'll be able to see what those look like. So you won't have to come up with those on your own. The best applications also include an introductory video, a baseline or needs assessment study to understand why this program is important, and a profile of the proposed project leader, although these last three are not required. Please,
Nick,
when
are
you,
you,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry for the interruption. Are you sharing your
No,
screen by any chance? Okay.
no, I'm not. Um, please be prepared when you prepare your application to explain how technology is aiding your intervention. There is a section on this, and the best applications, like Robin Abrams mentioned, are detailed and specific in their description of the use of technology. There is no penalization for programs that are new or ongoing. We can support programs across borders, but as I mentioned, you must have a registered organization supporting the work in each country. However, note that we cannot support any retroactive expenses. That means any expenses that were incurred or happened before the project started. We cannot support capital assets or endowments, and we cannot support lobbying. And finally, partnerships are allowed, but re-granting is not allowed. Note that payment for services to contractors, either individuals or companies, does not count as subgranting. We would be happy to circulate all of those, what I just said, via text to everyone after this call. I'm going to pass it to Kayla to run through the selection process that we go through.
Thanks, Nick. So once the application process wraps up in late January, we're going to start our due diligence process. So the way that that works, all the applications will come to CAF America. We will do an initial review of some of the materials that have been submitted and then rank them according to internal criteria. The top 50 applications with the highest scores will move on to a full review of all applications, and then we'll score them again. From there, we're going to do an interview of the top 10 applications, and those organizations will be invited to basically present their proposal again. It'll be a very in-depth conversation, so come prepared for that. The team typically has a lot of questions about your proposal and how the intervention will actually work, what impact you expect it to have. So come prepared to talk because we would love to hear your answers. And with that, there will also be a local or virtual site visit. I know there was a question in the chat about site visits. We can do them virtually as well. And then once we wrap up those 10 interviews, the selection jury will meet and they will pick out the top 3 projects and assign final decisions from there. I think that that really covers everything about the selection process. But once again, first place will receive $500,000. The runners up will receive $250,000 each for a 2-year project. The grants will be administered by CAF America on the back end, but that is contingent on passing our final due diligence process. And then following the receipt of those grants, there will be an expectation for a grant report to be completed. But yeah, that should really cover everything. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. And Robin, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Nick and Kyla, for taking us through the application process, eligibility criteria, and the selection process. This is just for the information of all the audience. We'll be running this help desk in the January month as well. So once we are all back from the holidays, we'll soon be sending you the help desk invite, and it will be purely that help desk will be purely supporting you with your application submission. CAF team and our HCL Tech Grant PMO team will be taking you through the entire application process in detail. But in the meantime, we request you all to not to wait till the last day. The last day to submit your application is January 24th, 2026, post which there will not be any submission allowed. So we request everyone to submit your application, enjoy your holidays, and and so that we get enough time to review all your applications while they are getting submitted. Just one change which we have brought in this year is last year till last two editions we were first getting the concept notes, then asking you to submit a detailed proposal. But this year we are asking you to submit the entire application in one go and a small video which you will be submitting it along with your application. And that video can be a raw video. It doesn't have to be a professional video. It can be shot on a phone, but it just have to give us an idea about what is that you're proposing to HCL Tech, America's grant, and the solution which you are proposing through your climate action initiative. If I think we have 2 minutes time, I can actually show you one sample video which the OZA Conservation, who are the winners of our HCL Tech America's Grant Edition 2, they made, and they were the winners of HCL Tech America's Grant. This is just a reference for you all to actually go through that, how these videos are made and how they actually, propose their project through this video. While I'm sharing my
Robin, sorry
screen,
to
your
yeah, we have one or two hands up. Do you want to take any
Yes.
questions or yeah?
sure.
Yes. I think Ted's
Yeah,
hand is
hello,
raised.
hello.
Yes, you may ask your question, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's not a question per se. It's just that I came late. I was having a network problem from Sierra Leone. So I just want you guys to recognize that I took part at the program. And maybe if there is a video recording or session recording of this program, you share it with me. Thank you so much.
Yes, for sure. We'll share it with you and it'll be up on the website as well. Thank you for attending.
If we don't have any questions, Nidhi would like to invite you for a closing remarks. Then I'll actually share the video to the audience, and with that, we'll end
I
the.
think go ahead with the video. I think we are on the clock. Let me also wish everyone the very best, and the process is on. Reach out to us should you have any question through email, and I would just say, don't be bound by processes. Think freely. Think about your idea. Think about the nature-based solution which you want to implement, and write it up in any language, any kind of formation. At this stage it should be something that is useful for our planet. Thank you so much, and wishing everyone wonderful holidays, Merry Christmas, and a new year. Thank you so much.
OSA Conservation, an NGO located in the South Pacific of Costa Rica, is dedicated to protecting one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. Our working landscape spans over 2 million acres across southwestern Costa Rica.
In just a tiny 70-kilometer straight line, you've got one of the most diverse ecosystem and habitat landscapes in the world. And if we conserve just that one little piece of Costa Rica, we can conserve over 75% of Costa Rica's biodiversity.
Costa Rica itself holds 5% of life on Earth. We've been here on the ground for over 20 years, leading a team of
Robin, we
scientists.
need to switch to the video, please. We have Robin's slide up. If you can switch to the video, please.
Nilanjana, maybe you could take over. I guess Robin's screen is frozen. Yeah. Okay, why don't you just circulate the link in the chat box? I think we are on clock. We would need to close the call. Dr. Nilanjana?
Yes, I'll do that.
Apologies for the technical error. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll put the video on the chat.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great time, and happy writing the applications. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ms. Abrams. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Yeah, Rona, can we talk? If you haven't yet gone off. Ronan?
I've put it in the chat, so for those of you who want to see it, you can access the video seeing the chat. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining.